Are you a true seeker? Do you follow the signs? I remember as a teenager singing this song. When I was a seeker, I sought both night and day. I asked the Lord to help me, and He showed me the way. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Does this make you think about the wise men who journeyed far looking for a king? All along it was God who guided them, who showed them the way. And He used a sign, the sign of a star. Before we go deeper into the story, let's see if you know the meaning of some Christmas signs. We have many symbols and things that we decorate with. So let's go quickly through this. A star reminds us of the Star of Bethlehem, which guided the wise men to Jesus. Lights and candles, again they remind us of Jesus, who is the light of the world. In the first reading, we hear about a wonderful light that was coming into a dark world. Christmas tree, the green is the color of life, and the Christmas tree, which is evergreen, reminds us of Jesus again, the life giver. Gifts, why do we give gifts to each other? They remind us of the greatest gift that God gave the world. Again, His Son Jesus. Bells. In the old days, church bells were rung to announce any good news. And Christmas bells remind us about the birth of Jesus. Angels, of course, we know, the angels who appeared to the shepherds at Christmas. A wreath. A wreath is a circle, so there's no beginning or end to it. And it stands for the unending love of God for us. No matter how we behave, God never stops loving us. Holly and berries. This one I didn't know before. They remind us of the crown of thorns and His blood that was shed for us. In some countries, holly is called Christ thorn. It's a very thorny bush. Santa Claus is short for Saint Nicholas, who was a very kind and holy bishop who especially loved the poor. What about this one? Why do we put stockings? The story is once told that St. Nicholas heard about a man who was very worried because he didn't have money to get his daughters married. And one night he quietly went and put some gold coins into the stockings which were hanging in front of the fireplace to dry. Now all these are Christmas signs, and they all point to Jesus. And God Himself gives us many more signs every day. And they lead us to God if only we are true seekers. So let's read the Gospel today and find out what a true seeker does. A reading from the Gospel of St. Matthew. After Jesus had been born at Bethlehem in Judea during the reign of King Herod, suddenly some wise men came to Jerusalem from the east, asking, "Where is the infant King of the Jews? We saw His star as it rose and have come to do Him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and so was the whole of Jerusalem. He called together all the chief priests and the scribes of the people and asked them where the Christ was to be born. They told him, "At Bethlehem in Judea, for this is what the prophet wrote." Then Herod summoned the wise men to see him privately. He asked them the exact date on which the star had appeared and sent them on to Bethlehem with the words, "Go and find out all about the child, and when you have found him, let me know, so that I too may go and do him homage." Having listened to what the king had to say, they set out. And suddenly the star they had seen rising went forward and halted over the place where the child was. The sight of the star filled them with delight. Going into the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and falling to their feet, they did him homage. Then, opening their treasures, they offered him gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. The word of the Lord. Just a few questions. Who saw the star? The wise men. But everybody else saw the star because it was visible to all. But what did they do when they saw the star? Now, the wise men understood the meaning of the star. They thought about it and they followed it in search of this new king. But the others maybe just admired it and must have said, "Awesome, beautiful. Today we would have taken pictures and sent it on Instagram." So what do we learn about a true seeker between these two groups of people? The true seeker understands the signs and is ready to do something about it, to follow the signs. In between, the star must have disappeared. So what did the magi do when they saw the star gone? They didn't give up. They went to the main city, Jerusalem, where the palace was and where the king was, and they wanted to find out where is this king which is born. So a true seeker doesn't give up. Now, as they left the king's palace after talking to Herod, the star appeared again. So what did the wise men do when finally they found the baby? They did him homage. That means they treated him like a king. They bowed down and offered him rich gifts. Can you learn one more thing about a true seeker? A true seeker, I feel, can look beyond the externals. They saw a simple little child living in a poor house, and still they were able to recognize him as king. And one last question. Today is the feast of the Epiphany. What does Epiphany mean? Adoration, wise men, revelation, announcement. It means revelation or manifestation. It means that God showed himself to the magi, to the world, not just to the people of Israel, because God had come for everyone. So the best part of the Magi's search was that they realized that it was God who had been guiding them all along. No wonder they were filled with such great joy. And so, like that song we sang, a true seeker is guided by God. I'd like to tell you another true story about a young woman named Lucy Tucker who lived in America. And her story is very much like the story of the Magi because she too searched and found. Now, Lucy says that even though she didn't know Jesus, he had put some big questions in her heart. And these questions were, who are we? Why are we here? What does life mean? Why do people suffer? And Lucy tried many different things to find the answers. She studied the stars, astrology. She even went into black magic and other kinds of therapy. She did so well that she became a professional astrologer, but still she was restless and hungry and unsatisfied. Then she moved on to Buddhism. She was a Buddhist for 5 years and spent many hours meditating. She said she learned how to sit still, which was a good lesson, but she didn't find the peace she was searching for. And at last one day when she was out walking, she was really desperate, and she tried something she had never done before. She looked up to the sky and she cried out, "Is anyone there? Help me. All the paths I have been following have failed. Each time I've only come to a closed door. Please help me." Soon after this cry, she read an article in a magazine which showed her that all the paths she had been trying were only ways that man uses to get some kind of power. And as she thought about this, she realized there was only one person who could help her, the one who had given her life. And she realized that her heart was made for him, and that he had been loving her even during the years when she had given up on him. And so Lucy was baptized at the Easter Vigil in 1992. She gave her heart to Jesus. And she says, "I have never been so deeply happy. My restless heart is resting, my questions answered. Like the magi astrologers, I came to worship at the crib and left astrology behind." You can read Lucy's story in her book, To the Edge of the Abyss. But what about us? Let's think about these questions. Am I a true seeker? Do I keep looking for Jesus, or do I get lost in my everyday life? Do I ponder the signs that God sends me every day? Do I think about them? Do I ask as I look at things, the sky, the stars, animals, things that happen in my life? Do I say, "Lord, what are you saying?" Do I give up easily, or do I keep seeking? If things don't go my way, do I just give up? Do I recognize Jesus when I do meet him? Jesus said that he comes to us even in the needy, the stranger, the sick. And finally, do I bow down before Jesus? Do I worship him? That means, do I give him all of myself? Let's talk to Jesus quietly and about all this that we have been thinking about. If you're in a group, you can do two things to share. Anytime when you were able to read a sign sent by God to you, so in situations or in nature, and maybe one way in which something that you want to start doing in order to become a true seeker. So all the best as you keep traveling. Bye from Family Faith Time. Will you share this with someone?